This paper is the work of very long research of 5 years. And this research has been started since in 2002 and ended in 2006, which is about the new product introduction and the effect of seasonality, particularly in food products retailing. And in this food products retailing, this has been studied in reference to Mexico, where I am. Well, before I really start my presentation, I would like to give a self-reference that I am Rajagopal and I am a professor in Monterey Institute of Technology and Higher Education in Mexico. Largely about the introduction of the new product, the inflow of the products into the market and the outflow of the products in reference to the buying from the consumers. And this study has been done with the objectives of measuring the demand factor, the market demand and the aggregate demand. And then it is going to be merged with the seasonality factor. What exactly is the seasonality factor? And in a whole year, probably you see we have the lean season and we have the peak season. So in which season the products are being introduced? Whether the products are being introduced in the peak season, then what exactly is going to be the life cycle of the product? Whether it is going to be only confined to the peak season or it is going to be further expanded to the lean season or in a season where you see there is a leisure shopping being practiced by the people. Then the other one is that the timing of introduction, when the product is introduced and with what speed. The most important issue is that here I have, of course, the presentation is quite brief because I was indicated that I have to limit to about 15 to 20 minutes. So obviously, you see, I have squeezed most of the issues here, but if you can go to my paper, which has the full paper that has been circulated, you can find that, you see, I have discussed a new concept here, and this concept is the escape velocity of the product. Escape velocity is that once a company starts conceiving that they have to develop a new product for a specific market, they work on that, and after that, once the product is ready, they try to push the product into the market. Now, escape velocity is that the period, the time lag between the ex-factory of the product and entering into the shelf of the retail store where consumer has an access. So this is one of the another objectives, and then coming to the study of major factors contributing to the variability of the market demand, how market demand fluctuates, what is the asymmetric behavior of the fluctuation of the new products in reference to market demand, and lastly, you see, to review a couple of very established researches and to develop a consistency with those models. Now I have quoted very brief reference of the previous studies. And in this previous studies, couple of studies, you can find it from the Hooker, who is 2007 that has been published, and then which talks about the health benefits of the products. He has largely discussed that, you see, if a new product has to be introduced for survival of that particular product, it is very important that it really works on the health benefits, because my topic is exclusively on the food products market. So in the food products, the most important is the health that has been discussed as one of the strongest variables to be considered by the company while introducing a new product. And then coming to another study which talks about the business cycle. Business cycle is associated with the frequency of introduction and the frequency of consumption. There has to be a legitimate time spread between the frequency of introduction of a new product and the frequency of consumption of a new product. And this has been by Giovanni, which has been done in 1990, and then you see there was one of my goals that has an econometric model I have created particularly for measuring this kind of customer value. And this paper has been published in the Society's Journal, Global Business and Economic Review of 2006, as well as similar paper with a different analysis has been published in Economic Issues, which is published by the Nottingham Business School. That is also of 2006. The issue is 11.1. And here I have largely talked about the customer value, the product attractiveness. But the product attractiveness is one of the major issues to really introduce a new product. If company feels my product is more attractive and therefore company should push it, or it should consider what it is going to generate and how it is going to generate the customer value to pull. The issue is that there should be the optimization of the strength of pushing and pulling. Then we move to another study which has been done by the Cantone, and that has been published in 2007, and which talks about the pricing. Pricing is one of the major factors for making the new products really move into the market. Now, in this study, a couple of hypotheses have been set, and there are three major hypotheses which were established in the study. And they were largely on introduction of the new products, which is influenced by the slight cyclical fluctuation, seasonality factor. And then another hypothesis which talks about the new product introduction is responsive to the market conditions than the projected aggregate demand. In the sense that companies think that, you see, well, my performance is very well for in 2005, and therefore, you see, they are going to introduce 3 new products in their product line. Probably, you see, that may not be the correct measure for a company to introduce and make the product succeed in the market. And for that, I understand that, you see, the major issue is the market conditions, and the market conditions is having a largely uncontrollable variables like asymmetric consumer behavior. And then the hypothesis 3, and in this hypothesis 3, largely, you see, we are talking about the new product introductions which are more responsive to the business cycle than the seasonality and the seasonality factor. So these two factors, the business cycle and the seasonality factor, both together really works in the new product development. Perhaps I'm going to discuss here one quick issue here. This is about the dimensions of the new product. If we are introducing new product, what are the major issues that really influence the consumer? So here there is it's not exactly a theory, but you see, it is a basic premise of the new product introduction, where you see, this is AATAR, where you see this A stands for awareness. This A stands for awareness, and this A stands for attributes. Attributes, and this T stands for the trial. And in this trial, we have now do-it-yourself or go-to-market strategies. We have 2 strategies. Go-to-market strategies are DIB, and then you say it is the availability of the product. And for availability, the most important issue is that the repeat. So the new product survives if it has a repeat influence. In the sense, you are going to buy again and again. Otherwise, if you are going to buy at one point of time, the product is not going to survive. The important issue is that the survival, the sustenance, how really the product sustains. And in this particular factor of awareness, there is another issue which I have expressed in my paper. And this is 2 A's plus 2 C's. And this A is again the awareness. This A is again the awareness. And after that, it goes as a comprehension. Comprehension in the sense how the company is really making the positive and negative factors understandable to the consumers, and then it comes to the conviction. And this is the stage which is very critical. In the sense, this is the stage where you see a consumer develops an inclination to buy. And after that, this is the final stage of action where you see he literally goes and buys. And in the model that I have presented in my paper, probably you see that you will come across one of the major issues of product attractiveness. And product attractiveness consists of these constituents. Then we will move to especially to the study design. And the study design is about 240 new product introductions in 5 categories as well, which have been probably in 54 in the processed food, and then you see here are the numbers, and the dairy products, breakfast cereals, and confectionery products. The period was quite long because you see, we had to rely, largely we had to depend on the self-service stores information. And therefore the period was, it took about 5 years period, and then you see we had a time lag that we have adjusted in the entire study, and that has given us the more or less good results so that you see we could establish our hypothesis. And we have collected the announcements, and once the announcements were collected, after that it has been pursued, the study has been pursued with the superstores with a log sheet to know that what was the intake and what was the offtake of the product in a given period in different regions and in different demographic localities in Mexico City. And you see the data was collected, and after that it has been analyzed, and accordingly the data was spread into 60 months period, particularly in this new product categories. Now, coming to the discussion, I have only 3 more slides left. I will quickly finish. And that's the discussions. You can find that this is one of the seasonality analysis. This is one of the major focus of my research. And in that seasonality analysis, we have been done with these variables, and you can find these variables here, like the market demand. Then market demand was this one, and then we come to the market as proxy aggregate demand. Aggregate demand is this, and then the self-service stores, and this self-service stores is the NPS. And then it comes to the another is we are talking about the time lag, and this time lag has been represented by the constant here, and then you see we are measured yards square. So ultimately, in this discussion, you will find that you see the processed food, particularly you see the frozen products and confectionery, seems to be considering the seasonal marketing expansion and respond with a slight time lag in introducing their new products. So this is one of the major issues where you see the seasonality of the market expansion is one of the major constituents for the companies in developing a strategy. And it has also been observed that market demand has an important factor on timing of the new product introduction. So that you see the market demand, if there is a demand, now the issue is that first demand has to be created, also demand has to be served. So particularly for the new product, you can serve the demand provided these factors have been attended before introducing the product. Then it automatically creates a demand, and then you can serve the market. But on the other hand, if the companies ignore AATAR concept and straight away put the product into the market, they will not be at the point of selling in that situation, but they will be at the point of creating demand. And if they will create a demand after positioning the product, there is a time lag. And this time lag is being encashed or being used by a competing brand. So the company, original company, which has introduced the product, would lose. Now we come to the another issue, and this is the second and the last results in discussions, where you see we are talking about the regression analysis. And these are the food categories, and ultimately you will find that you see the frequency of new product introduction in all the food products category were high during the peak season. There is the peak season, July to December, where there is a leisure shopping tendency in Mexico, because the people will be on the holiday mood and they will be having the high purchasing power. And in this table, particularly in the column 2, which shows about the lean season. And in the lean season, these important issues, particularly you see about the buying tendency, affects the entire control variables, and these control variables are largely the promotions. If you take the control variables, one is the promotion, because that is being controlled by the company. So if there are no control variables, probably you see, you will go for seasonal demand. If there is a non-seasonal demand, probably you see, a company needs a greater pressure to push the product through the control variables. Then one of the interesting developments in this project, which have really made this project work, is the extended entity relationship. This was an EER diagram. And in this diagram, probably you see this is the customer value region, and this is the region where there is a risk factor, where there is a threat from the competition, and this is the factor which is being used by the company. And here, you have the product and services introduction. The T is the time factor, and M is the market, and N is the number of introductions. In a sense, the product line, if take the case of, generally it happens with the food items, like you see, the chips. Now, the potato crispies. Now, if the potato crispies, a company is introducing one during the lean season, they are going to introduce 6 or 7 or 8 in the peak season. And this is going to be the number of new product introductions, which is going to largely overlap with its own brands. And then this is going to create a push and pull effect, and which is exactly the lead time. The lead time is the gain taken from the concept of AATAR, but how much time you are really demarcating for introducing a new product. And then coming to here, we are going to have the company to review and build and rebuild the value. Here the information flow, I need magic, what exactly the customer wants and what is being told to the customer by the company about the new product. And then you see here, who are the lead users? We call it as the innovators. And the innovators really push to the large majority. And after the large majority, there are the late majority. After the late majority, we have another level called laggards. The laggards are people who do not make decisions, who always buy time. If a new product is introduced, I will say that, see, today I am going to make a decision. No, I will buy time for tomorrow, and then again I will buy time, and ultimately I will not be really deciding on buying. And then, as you come to the last point, where you see the selling and outlet management. That is one of the most important issues which the companies must see, that how consumers can really access the new products and introspect their customer values at the end of their decision to buy the product. And now we come to the conclusion. And in the conclusion, we are largely having a couple of issues. They are consistent with the hypothesis. All the three hypotheses that have been framed were established, and the discussion in the study presents strong evidence in favor of the premise that the new product introductions are largely driven by the market.